Guys, really sorry about that. Totally forgot you can't do Facebook Lives with another person through a desktop. So I just switched to my phone. So really sorry about the delay. Get everyone tagged in here. So today, like I was saying, I'm going to be sharing exactly how we went from literally a struggling business with no clients, well, only a couple clients, but making like no money to exploding, literally being able to choose who we work with and actually having to push some people away, which is a really amazing problem to have. So today we have a special guest, Alex Engar, coming in to teach you every single thing that he's been teaching us over the last couple months, which is absolutely amazing. I'm really excited about it. Let's get him in here. There we go. What's up, Ray? Hey, Max. Nick, what's going on, guys? Okay. All right. What's up, Ray? How you doing, man? How's your week? Will, what's going on, man? Guys, if you're here, comment team live. If you're catching this live, if you're catching the replay, comment team replay. We have a really special series for you today, and we're giving away something really awesome for the people that stick through to the end of this. What's up, Alex? Bringing you on now, man. What up, Nick? Yeah! Thanks for being here, guys. Really excited. Guys, over the last 6 months has been absolutely insane. Like I said, went from being a really struggling agency, having a hard time getting any clients, to literally just blowing up over the last 6 months, making multiple 5 figures a month, thanks to everything that this man that I'm about to bring on, Alex Engar, has taught us. And today we're going to start sharing a lot of the things that he taught us with all of you, but you don't have to pay the expensive coaching fees that we've been paying. So we're really excited. Make sure you give him a lot of love for being here, because he's a really busy guy. Send him in now, Alex, hopefully. Yeah! What's up?
What's up? How you doing, Jordan?
Amazing, man.
Dude, it's so good to see you. So good to see you. Dude, how do you like my outfit?
Your look to us.
Well, so there's this little team called the Utah Jazz. See, and they played this other littler team called the Milwaukee Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I had this friend who's a raving Bucks fan for no reason. And he was like, hey, if the Jazz and the Bucks play and the Bucks win, you have to like wear a costume sometime on a live stream. And then he invited me onto a live stream like the very next week, and so here we are. So I'm taking guesses, first of all, right now. I don't know if y'all know what this is. I'm taking guesses right now. Do you know what this costume is? I want to see it in the comments. I want to see it in the comments. Oh, Ray says it's a good look. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, man. Maybe I'll switch to this for Thursday, baby.
If you have a good guess on what this is, go ahead and comment it below. Am I allowed to guess too? Is that cheating?
I mean, we gotta give like 20 seconds for people in the comments, I guess, and for those to roll in. Eddie, what's happening, man? Amanda might know. Will, I don't know if you know. By the way, there's a story behind this as you're guessing. Popeye the Sailor Man. That sounds good. That sounds good, Max. Thank you, man. Popeye says, right, y'all are close, but way off. I just moved, and so all of my costumes, all the good costumes, were taken and packed deep into storage. And so I went to my in-laws and I said, what costumes have thee? And they said, here, dig into our costume box. And lo and behold, I would imagine that my wife probably wore this costume at some point. I don't know. Growing up, like, to be honest, I don't know. I wish, dude, can I show you the whole thing? Check this out. Wait, this might help give some like context. Okay. What do you think? I'm taking guesses now. We gotta give someone a prize if they actually get this thing.
Ooh, I think that's a really good idea. We got a couple of prizes we can give away if anyone gets this thing right.
No one's gotten it right yet, by the way. Keep guessing. Once somebody gets it right, then we'll do something for them.
Well, I must say, I think I speak on everyone's behalf when I say you look beautiful, Alex.
Oh, thank you. That's always what I'm going for, Jordan. You know that.
That's great, man. Well, hey, thank you so much for taking the time today to
you got it.
All this stuff with everybody, because it is immensely valuable. I think just the growth and success this group has had and the people within this group is a testament to your training, because it all stems from you. You're like the godfather of online healthcare marketing. So
Dude, thank you. So I just have to say, when we met, so Jordan and I go way back, like way back. Like Jordan is one of the OGs in Healthy Funnel. Dude, you got to be one of our first clients ever, right? Like looking back to the days before anyone knew who we were, Jordan was right there. And I remember getting on a call back, oh gosh, I mean, we hadn't even put out ads for PTs yet for sure. And we were just talking about what you guys were doing. Um, and looking at your journey, man, over the past, heck, we've known each other, it's coming up on 2 years.
oh yeah,
Dude, it's been so cool to watch you guys.
we knew of each other maybe even a little bit longer than that, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's totally true. And then all of a sudden we sat down at when I found out that you were coming to Funnel Hacking Live, which is a big nerdy marketing conference. And we sat down at a table and talked about what you guys wanted to build for yourselves. It's like, my goodness, they just the potential just dripping. You know that time when like you see someone and there's just potential dripping off of them, just like bah, bah, and you're like, oh my gosh. That's how I've always felt about you, man. And it's so cool to see you stepping into your own, just like massively dominating, helping healthcare providers ridiculously up their paid advertising and organic advertising game. Dude, it's such an honor to be here with you, man. So cool.
Almost too much, man. That coming from you, that means everything because obviously your opinion means the world to me, and I look up to you greatly. So that means a lot, and I couldn't have done any of it without you, man.
Oh, thank you, dude. I appreciate it.
Gosh, I don't think we'd be here. We wouldn't. I mean, for everyone who, if you guys don't know, like the backstory, before we were able to meet and sit down at Funnel Hacking Live, like we were running an agency, but it wasn't by any means successful. We were undercharging. We didn't know how to get new clients. We were basically slaves to, to these clients that weren't even really good clients. We just had to do it to survive. And when I went to Funnel Hacking Live, Alex, I don't even think you know this, but I spent every cent that I had to go there. I think I went there with like $25 when I wow. Hacking Live. And what you guys taught us, inspired us to take action, step out of the business that was sucking the life out of us and taking all of our time, and give us this, the belief and strength and the knowledge we needed to step away from the business and start our own. And literally, I think within the first 2-3 months, we're making more money than we ever had been. And since then, we've made more money than we've ever done in our entire careers, thanks to all the frameworks that you're teaching us.
Dude, it's amazing. And I know that you guys have had other coaching too. The thing I love about you, Jordan, is you're just so hungry, man. Like I see it. I'm just sitting here. Like, I resonate so much with you. And we go to a lot of the same marketing conferences. We're in a lot of the same marketing circles. And I see you just so freaking hungry to dominate. And that hunger attracts so much success, which is why you guys are having so much of it. Dude, we're totally honored to have played a small role in your growth. And it's amazing to see what you've done, man. So cool. And by the way, nobody has gotten the costume right, so keep guessing.
Right. And honestly, that's why I love this group so much, because everyone in this group, whenever we put out a new tactic, and a lot of it's stuff that we learned from you, as soon as we put it out, everyone in here is taking action. And so I really appreciate you coming in here to share with this group, just to like kind of foreshadow a little bit of everything. Like, so you helped Max and I blow up our businesses, and not just us, but you're doing this by the hundreds. You're literally changing the game in healthcare. But most importantly, you liberated us from just burnout and a job that was robbing of us of our self-worth, our time, our freedom, and you gave us all of our time back. So now we're making more money than ever, but most importantly, we have unlimited time and freedom. And I mean, we made a lot of investments in ourselves and in our businesses, and like in coaching. And it wasn't just the information that you guys were putting out there that was the most valuable part. It was incredibly valuable in it, absolutely. But like getting to be around you guys and the people, just being around the environment of people that are action takers and moving. I mean, there's something to be said about the amount of growth of just being around the people, like-minded people like that.
Dude, it's so interesting. Will and I were talking about this today. By the way, for those of you who are watching who maybe have no clue who I am or what we do, I'm a very tactical kind of guy. I don't like high-level theory. I'm very much like, well, what do I do with the thing? So I want to get into that, I promise. But I also want you to realize that Will and I were talking about this earlier, how most of the time, people who go into business for themselves, don't know what they don't know. Like it's just natural, right? You haven't done it before. It's something new, especially as a healthcare provider. We're not given that kind of training. Like I don't know why we're okay spending $150,000, $200,000 for an education that then we're told, hey, guess what? Like we're never actually going to teach you how to make money doing this. We're just going to teach you how to be an implementer all the time and go make money for someone else. And as a physical therapist, that really rubs me the wrong way, which is why it's so important to Will and I to help people like learn core business principles applied online within healthcare. Like how do you go and take the skills that you already have, look at it from a different viewpoint, and then say, oh, what if I actually just made this little tweak in how I'm thinking about myself, in how I'm thinking about my skills, and all of a sudden, then you turn that into making money. Oh, it's mindset. Oh my gosh.
Perfect. Perfect time.
Right? But it really is. You don't know what you don't know. And so that's why we're the same. We've invested a crap ton of money. In fact, Will just put out a post today. We were looking at it in the past year alone, 12 months. We spent 30 grand on coaching. Coaching, like no one actually doing anything for us. Coaching to figure out how to keep growing this thing. And that's why we've had explosive revenue. That's why you guys have had explosive revenue, because you've sought out people who are ahead of you, who can tell you what it is that you don't see right now, so that you can move into a future that right now you don't conceive, but somebody else is already living.
Right. Right. And it's something like when you're just by yourself, it's hard to conceive those things. But when you're surrounded by people that are doing it every single day, it's really easy to start to believe like, holy cow, they're doing it? I can definitely do it. And now, like with your guys' program, I mean, it wasn't like cheap by any means, but it was worth every darn penny. And it was like, I would pay a whole lot more. And now.
So you tell me I need to raise prices, man?
Right. I would pay so much more.
No, thank you though. Thank you.
Just to keep hanging out with you guys. I will buy your friendship if I had to. But the thing now, this Thursday with this webinar that you guys have been putting out there, you guys are basically teaching everything that you taught us for free. What the hell, man?
So let me just tell you, because most healthcare providers fall into this trap of thinking, I don't want to give away my stuff because then people won't buy it. Or I don't want, like, they get scared, right? It ultimately comes down to abundance mindset versus scarcity mindset, right? Again, mindset. It's, I don't want to put out the exercises. What if somebody asks me, like I'm putting out videos and they ask me, what's the best exercise? And I don't want to tell them because then they'll just go do it on their own and they won't need me. Well, I'm like, it's such flawed thinking. Like, I get that there's health issues if we're just telling people, go do this exercise. Totally get that. Totally get that. But the bigger picture is, Will and I have gotten to the point in our business where we just realize that most people, 98% of them, will not do anything with the information given them. And so we're happy to give out strategies. We're happy to get out the information. It's not dude, everything is on YouTube nowadays anyway. It doesn't matter. Like it's all sitting on YouTube. But what is it that gets people to actually take action? And it's truly investing in themselves, like putting some skin in the game, committing to actually doing something and being in a community of people that are doing the same thing, supporting them along the way. And then it's really interesting. You've seen this too, I'm sure. Like for us, it's the exact same. I buy coaching because I want to be able to know, am I doing this right? Like I just want some validation that I'm on the right path. Even if I know exactly what the path is, and if someone tells me this is step-by-step what you need to do, dude, I'm literally just there because, hey, this is how I'm doing it. Is this right? Like, am I on the right track here? And then it's usually, yes, maybe make some tweaks. But that's why the stuff that we're going to be teaching on Thursday, even though it's taken us 2 years and probably getting close to $100,000 of coaching to learn, we know that there's honestly like we're going to give strategies that people are charging tens of thousands of dollars for. Like they just are. So dude, it's really fun. Like I'll just be honest, it's super fun to be able to like figure these frameworks out and then share them with people. It's really, really freaking fun.
I think that's a really important thing that I want to dig into because I mean, we paid a lot to learn all this stuff, and now you're giving it away to a lot of people. So I know none of this is about money for you. And I just want to know, like, why are you doing this? Why are you launching this program?
Yeah, dude, that's such a good question. I feel like, first of all, you ask really good questions, and I want people to go listen to your podcast when they get a chance, because the way you interview people is really good. The way you talk about things, I just love how your brain works. So first of all, go listen to their podcast if you. But I just want to say that what what got me into this place in the first place was not knowing what options were out there. And I was a physical therapist, but when I was in school, I had 2 kids, I'm married, and I was going into a profession that I did not see fulfillment happening with the standard career path, right? So for me, it was a question of I didn't know what options were out there. So I wanted to quit PT school. A year into it, I had obviously invested a crap ton of time and money to get to that point, but I didn't see options that felt fulfilling. And I saw myself getting boxed into a 9 to 5 career, building somebody else's dream that I wasn't going to be happy with. And that really burned me, man. Like, honestly, it really burned me to think that I really have a desire to help people. I got into PT because I loved how it helped me take care of my own problems and empower me. That's why I got into PT. I just saw that, oh, it gave me the tools to actually take care of my own problems. Sweet, I want to be able to do that for other people. And when I started seeing what the reality of healthcare is, which is that a lot of it is dictated by what maybe another healthcare provider tells you can or can't do under a certain plan of care, or even worse, an insurance company that doesn't have the relationship with the patient that you have, that doesn't have the education that you have, dictating what kind of care you can and can't provide. That to me was not fulfilling. And so as I started seeing, well, that's stupid. Why is it that I can't just like create a business? And then I was told, well, yeah, but PTs aren't really creating their own businesses because like they're mostly just getting bought up by these bigger practices. I was like, sorry, if you have a dream to be able to run a business in the way that you want, squash that, right? Dude, that sucks. That totally sucked. And so I started looking outside of healthcare. I was like, dude, how can I use the skills that I'm learning within healthcare to do something different? And I started realizing, hey, there are people using their normal skills that they have in a totally different way online. And when that light bulb clicked for me, and it was like, wait a minute, there's options here. Dude, that's when the whole world of possibility opened up to me. And I started to realize, and I started seeing people doing it where they can be successful as clinicians, they can have knowledge as a clinician, but make their impact and income online, independent of where they live and independent of like a 5 mile radius of people that they could help. And that was mind blowing. And so for me, this is about, and for me and Will, who's my business partner, this is about being able to make a shift. Like, honestly, it's about being able to make a shift in healthcare to give people freedom to be able to use all this stuff that they've learned, all this hard work that they put into their careers to be able to go impact people in mass. Because I don't believe that the changes in healthcare that we need are going to come from above. I really don't think that the changes that we need are going to come from the top down with new laws, new legislation. I think that the fastest way to do it is to actually change from within. And so that's why we're so driven to help people understand, how do you get in front of people in an authentic way? How do you use the rules of the game as they exist right now with the best ways of getting in front of people to actually make a difference, starting from within and working from the bottom up?
And I just want to like take a moment to like thank you again, because I mean you're helping people by the hundreds and the thousands, but you're helping them help more people in their communities and across the world. And the impact you're having on just people having access to care and just making sure they get the care that they need is unbelievable. So thank you so much for everything that you're doing, because it really is selfless. A lot of the things that you just give away and put your time into, knowing that you won't get anything back, is truly inspiring.
Did you have to do that early on? Like, and it was funny because early on,
Right.
like before Will and I knew how to run a business, there was a lot of free conversations, right? Now that everyone who's on here right now, Kevin, Paul, and I don't know actually, and Grace, I don't know. Ray, man, I know all too well. He knows me all too well. But like, we had a lot of free conversations with y'all early on in our business, didn't we? Like, if you're on here, if you're on the replay or you're on the live stream, if you have had a conversation before with Will or myself that we didn't charge you anything for, just say me. Just put me below, because I know we had hundreds and hundreds, right? Hundreds of conversations for free with people before we could even charge a penny, before we like had enough confidence in ourselves to charge a penny. And like, now, do we charge money for things? Heck yeah. I mean, like, this is our business. We need to earn a living for ourselves, but we also need to empower people to be able to actually commit to something, which is honestly the bigger reason why you need to charge someone for something.
Right.
And so early on in your business, it's going to be okay to do some stuff for free. I mean, I'm sure you guys have done stuff for free for clients all the time, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. All the time. And
Right?
doing it, it's great. But yeah, also like up front, I mean, those are the things that you have to do in order to build a foundation to enable you to help more people.
Totally, totally, 100%.
Right. So this Thursday, you're going to be teaching the online freedom blueprint that you taught us that allowed us to not only blow up our business, but more importantly, just have the freedom to work on what we want to work on and help who we want to help. And so I just want to know, who is this for, and what kind of things are you going to be covering on it?
Yeah, dude. So this is primarily like a lot of people have told us, hey, and we've had this thought too, like, hey, are you going to take this outside of healthcare? Like, because honestly, the framework that we teach, it's very broadly applicable outside of healthcare. And we decided that, do we want to go all in on healthcare? At some point, the things that we're teaching will probably start to expand outside of that. But I remember about a month and a half ago, I walked into a room of, it was a mastermind, it was a healthcare mastermind. Dude, David Bailiff, what's happening, brother? You were in this room, David. I walked into a room of people who are in Greg Todd's mastermind, all healthcare providers. They're doctors, I should say they're MDs, they're RDs, they're RNs, there's PTs, OTs. And I walked into this room and I looked around and I realized how much I loved every single person in that room. And how much I just like totally felt every single one of them and how badly they wanted to impact people. Like there's just such purity in healthcare, man. There's such purity in the desire to make people better. And we ask people all the time, like, hey, why do you want to have an online business? And it's always the number one answer is I want to be able to serve more people. And that purity to me is so important, which is why I think so many of us become healthcare providers. And so it's for healthcare providers who want to be able to have an impact beyond one-to-one, meaning they know that there's something else out there that they could be doing for people beyond brick and mortar one-to-one care. Maybe they already have a brick and mortar practice, but they want to help people beyond like a standard plan of care. And that's really what this is about on Thursday. We call it the online freedom method because it's about how do you create freedom for yourself and for your business online. How do you take the principles that you guys are using, people like David Bailiff are using, people like Ray are using to grow a Facebook group, for example, to reach more than just people in your immediate area. And it's always so cool to us when we start seeing new clients that we're working with as they start doing this stuff. And I was just on a call with someone right before this, and they had made a post on Facebook, just starting to make posts, right? Just starting to get comfortable with that. It's still a really scary thing. And she told me, as we were looking at the comments of people who had commented on her post, she said, holy cow, there are a bunch of these people I've never actually talked to. Like, I don't even know these people. And it was this moment of like, whoa, I can have an impact of people beyond like the immediate relationships that I have with them. And that's why social media to me is so powerful. We live in an age where you can have an impact on people that you've never once even talked to.
Right.
And if you know the rules of the game and play them in the way that we teach, you can start to have an impact. And then you can start to have people reaching out to you and saying, ah, shoot, how can I work with you? And then you can create programs for them, and you can create a way for you to earn income that isn't reliant on your time in a clinic. Maybe you're a business owner and you're like, look, I actually want to scale out of treating patients all day. Well, you need to fill that with other income. That's what we help people do. So that's why I'm so freaking excited about. That's what we're teaching on Thursday.
As you should be. I hope everyone watching this is really freaking excited about it, because what Alex is teaching and him and Will are about to teach on Thursday is completely changing the game of healthcare. And gyms have had this figured out over the last couple of years, and now we're moving into physical therapy, and physical therapy is going to lead the charge on this whole online push of helping people at a greater scale than you ever could in the clinic. So I'm really freaking excited to hear all the things that you're teaching. I'm going to be there taking a ton of freaking notes.
Yes.
Right? So some people, they can hardly even wrap their heads around the whole Facebook game right now.
Yeah.
A lot of them just aren't that tech savvy. So can you kind of explain what's in it for people that might not be tech savvy? Is this still for them?
Yeah, totally. Dude, first of all, Jeremy asked, what in the world is Alex wearing? I lost a bet. For all those who were just coming on the live stream and are like, who is this guy? Okay, I lost a bet. I'm wearing a costume. All right, guys? Accept it and guess what it is. No one has guessed it right, by the way. No one has guessed the costume right. All right, but like to get back to your question, and I want to get into some tactics too with this question because I think it's so important. What about people who aren't like tech savvy or who feel like, yeah, I want to make an impact. I want it like, dude, I want to be able to make an online course, or I want to be able to have a coaching program that I can help people around the country with, but I'm not tech savvy and I don't use Facebook and I'm not comfortable with it. First of all, Jeremy Sun says it's horrible. And he says Raggedy Andy. And he got it 100% right, everyone. We have a winner. Jeremy Sutton. Everyone, thank you. It's Raggedy Andy, man. 100%. Jeremy, I'll reach out to you, and I don't know what I'll do, but I'll give you something for it, because that was amazing.
We gotta come up with some sort of pack.
I love it. I love it. Give the man some applause. Everyone, thumbs up right now, or hearts for Jeremy Sutton for actually guessing it. Tony Maritano, what's happening, brother? So if you're not tech savvy, or you feel like, shoot, I don't like this stuff. I don't like using Facebook. I don't want to put myself out there. I'll be really honest, you guys. I hated Facebook 3 years ago. Like, I thought it was such a waste of time. I was joking with Will yesterday that I actually thought texting was really stupid for a long time. Like, I'm like, dude, I'm a relationship guy. Like, I'm not all about sitting down on my phone, right? Nowadays, I spend a crap ton of time on my phone because I made a shift in my mindset. Again, dude, I'm talking about a lot of shifts here. And we're going to teach a lot of shifts on Thursday that you have to make if you're going to be successful online. There are 3 primary ones. We'll talk about those. One of the kind of mini shifts that I had to make was, if I use social media the right way, I can actually create more relationships with people and have a deep impact, even if I don't know them, one-on-one. And dude, when I started opening myself up to the idea that I can use social media as a tool to accomplish the things that I inherently want, and it's simply a tool in the way the world is working right now, I started looking at it differently, and it stopped being about social media. And this is the thing, like, tactically, I just want to tell you tactically right now, everyone who's on here, if you're using your business page, or you think that the business page is what is going to make things grow for you online, like, you have to stop it right now. You have to stop it. Everything needs to shift to your personal profile, or maybe even a Facebook group if you've got one. Tony says, you hated Facebook till it paid you to spend more time with your family. Ooh, Tony, that's so good.
All right, I love that.
But dude, like, I have a business partner, right? Will and I met through a Facebook comment chain. I was at CSM 2017. CSM is a big physical therapy conference. I was at CSM because I thought that I was going to learn how to become a running expert online by going to CSM. Turns out I met Greg Todd there. And when I met Greg Todd, I started diving into his stuff. And I was sitting in CSM, back row. I was like, I will at least be here, but I'm not going to be present. I was like, I'll show up at the conferences that I said I would. And like, there are a couple of the running things, right? It was like running injuries and knee OA, right? And I was sitting on the back row. And instead of listening about knee OA and running, I was diving into Greg Todd's stuff because I was just so fascinated. And Will Boyd made a very poignant comment on there, as Will does. And I was like, dude, this comment is so good. And so I reached out to Will through Messenger. And I was sitting there, should have been listening probably to to what they were teaching, totally wasn't. And I sent Will a message, and I said, dude, Will, this was amazing. I would love to have you on my podcast. I didn't have a podcast at the time. I was about to launch it. Will was my very first podcast guest. And I immediately knew when we talked that there was something special about this dude. And I was like, man, I want to be friends with this guy. I just love his style. Like, he's so calm, and he makes me feel so good about life. Like, shoot, I want to be this dude's friend. And over time, through Facebook, started creating this relationship with him and with other people like Jeremy Sutton, people like Jordan Mather, right? Like, I started realizing I can actually create real relationships using social media. And so, Tony, this shift of I hated Facebook, well, my shift actually happened as I realized that it was a way for me to create relationships first with people. And that's what I want you to shift from. Like, I'm not tech savvy. I don't like Facebook. Cool. Do you like relationships with people that you know you can legitimately help? Because if you do, then you got to learn the rules of the game to be able to create real relationships with people. And I think where most people go wrong with this, Jordan, is they think, oh, it's digital, so I can act differently. And in reality, what we teach and what we're going to teach on Thursday is how to interact like a real human being using social media, because the rules aren't any different. Sure, there's some like little tweaks in how you phrase things maybe when you're doing a Facebook post, but like the rules of social etiquette still apply. And so it's not like you have to learn some new thing. It's just, hey, be a human, but interact and share a little bit more through Facebook. And that's when things totally shifted for me.
Definitely. Definitely. That was some gold. And like I said, like I can't wait for you to dig into that stuff because that's so important. People don't really know how to interact with people when the laws are all the exact same. So I know you have to get probably going soon. So I'll ask a couple more questions.
Yeah, dude.
So one, I think a lot of people like they just don't know how to apply a course into their current business model, whatever it may be. Can you give a couple suggestions and ideas of how someone might build this into their business and how it could help?
Yeah. So I'm actually a really big proponent of not taking courses unless you need them right now for your business. Like a lot of people buy, and I did too early on, they bought courses or programs because they were like, someday I'm going to need this. Someday this is going to be useful. And they buy it. And then what happens? Like right now, if you're someone who has bought a course and not actually used it, I just want you to comment me below right now. Tony, who's on here, Max, who's on here, Jordan, Jeremy, y'all who are on here right now. Have you ever bought a course and not actually used it? Because I've been there.
A book.
Oh my God. Let's talk about, I don't know if you can
Yeah.
see this. Let's talk about like books for just a minute. This is my current reading list of Rubik's Cube. And you can see like these are the marketing books I'm actively working on. These are the personal development books I'm actively working on. It's terrible, man. Like content consumption is ridiculous. And so Will says me times 6, right? It's like you buy so much crap. So I actually don't want anyone buying our stuff or coming to us for coaching if it doesn't actually make sense for what they need right now in their business. And so that's, I think, the first principle is don't buy crap you don't need just because someone's trying to sell it to you.
Right.
Stop buying crap just because someone is selling it. And like, don't be a course hoarder. If you walk into these houses sometimes where my brother-in-law flips houses, right? And he'll go into these houses where it's just like every room is full of crap. Like literally every room is full of crap and animals and like, dude, feces, and like it's ridiculous. And the idea is, well, I might need this someday. I can't throw this thing out. And what does that actually create for you? It creates absolute chaos. Does that produce clarity? Does that create a space in your mind where you can actually get stuff done? No, it doesn't. It creates a space where you feel overwhelmed all the time. You always feel like you're behind. You always feel like you're trying to catch up. And that's not what I like. That's not what I want for any of our clients or for myself. So first and foremost, if you don't need it, don't come Thursday. Like, please don't. If you're not at the point where you're like, yeah, I really feel like creating an impact online is the next place I want to go with my life, then don't come. Like, it's not going to be relevant to you. Just to know what it is and get excited about it and hear about our program, like that doesn't do you any good. But then the real question is, cool, so who's it for? And like, how do you apply this into a business, which is your question. You apply this into your business by looking at how can I serve people differently if I have a brick and mortar practice? How can I take patients that I know have a finite value and say, what if the average patient value right now is $1,000 in my clinic? And then I say, well, what if I know that I have on average 6 visits per plan of care and it's $1,000 for that plan of care? How do I grow my business? And I'm of the mindset that if you have a business that is stable right now, that is bringing you patients and you know how to attract them, but you don't know how to add value to that patient so that you can extend the value of a plan of care, then this is actually something you should really pay attention to. Because what if I told you, well, yeah, instead of $1,000, what if instead it becomes $1,200 because we have something that's $197 on the back end that we're giving them. We increase our average patient value by $200. And imagine what a 20% growth in your clinic is by not taking on any more patients, by not changing any of your marketing, simply by knowing how to serve people on the back end of a plan of care. Yeah. That's huge. Like that actually makes a difference in how you're feeding your family or how you can take on new employees. And so that's where I think it comes in, like just knowing at what point am I at in my business? Does this apply? And then for the people who are like, well, that's cool. I don't have a brick and mortar. I don't want one. I want an online impact like you guys are talking about. Sweet. If you have no clue where to start, then the things that we teach are how do we start from ground zero, knowing nothing about the landscape? How do I start building the skills step by step to be able to do something like Jordan and Max are doing, where they're suddenly having impact in mass? where they're actually getting in front of people who need their help. They're able to educate them, and then they're able to create offers for them that really, really, truly serve them and get them incredible results. Like all the crazy stuff you guys have been doing with Tim, for example, and all the clients you're getting. Like that stuff is so cool, but it would never have happened if you didn't learn step by step how to play the game.
Right. So it sounds like, does anyone need any like prereqs to do this? We're obviously tech savvy. We know the online game. Like, can anybody do this if they're ready?
Here's the thing. I firmly believe that if anyone is actually focused enough and driven enough to learn this, like, it's very learnable. You just have to be willing to get out of your comfort zone. So if somebody isn't willing to step into discomfort right now, then this totally isn't for them. To be honest, entrepreneurship isn't for them either. And I think that same principle applies in online. You're going to have to get uncomfortable. Dude, Jordan, 3 years ago, were you super comfortable getting on a live stream, man?
No, I was
right. Like
live still freak me out, even though I do.
Right. So you come up with ways to cope with that. Like your vision is enough to push you through that. Your goals are enough to push you through that. Your mission is enough to push you through that. And so we help people identify that mission. We help them get really clear on who it is that they're serving. And we help them figure out, great, how do I get from where I'm at right now, where I have no skills, where I have no clue what I want to do? How do I get clarity and actually act towards the things that I want so that someday I can have the reach I want, the impact I want, and ultimately the income that I want because I've learned the game online.
Thank you so much, Alex. I'm super excited for Thursday. Everyone, I really hope you are. And honestly, because this changed my life and made such a profound difference in just my trajectory and just mental well-being, let alone the finances. I feel like morally obligated to try to get as many of you to go to this thing, and it's free. So I feel obligated to try to get you guys to go there. So Max and I put together a
what? Whoa.
A mystery package for everyone who's going to attend this thing. And it's literally the 7 most valuable things that we give to every single one of our clients that are paying us $2,000 or more. So this is probably the most valuable thing that we've given away. There's 7 things. Any of you interested in figuring out what's going to be in this thing? Let me.
I want to know.
Just kidding. You guys gotta attend this thing if you guys want to figure out what's going on inside this box. So go if you want to get this mystery box and you want to get this free training that's, let's be honest, it's worth it's invaluable. It's worth thousands of dollars and can mean tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars for your business if you go and implement it correctly. So if you're interested in getting this training, learning from one of the coolest and smartest human beings in the world, Alex and Will, comment mystery below and we'll make sure Max will send you a link right away to get signed up for this webinar and self-eligible to get probably the most valuable giveaway that we've ever done.
Dude, the box, man. I really want to know what's in the box. I love it. I love it. By the way, Chelsea, this outfit, I'm glad you're dying, but I'm dying too. It's hot. It's hot. Go watch the replay so you know what this whole thing's about.
I love it. Alex, thank you so much for being here. If people need to find out more information, is there anywhere that they can go?
Yeah, dude. They just comment mystery and then they'll click that link and it tells everything that we're doing on Thursday.
Right on, brother. Well, have a great rest of your night. Everybody, thank you so much for being here. We love all of you. You make this group amazing. Thanks, everyone.
See you, brother.